Okay, so we do something on a show called the WoW scale.
Okay.
It is a 5-question quiz, and I don't know.
Thank you.
Scale.
Also, Sevon, I think Media
Beautiful.
Encoder is open if that's what's making the thing live.
Are you wet or are you
I
willy?
texted you discreetly.
Am I a Wade or am I a Willie?
That's what we're going to find out.
What Aaron's in the
Based
middle?
on your answers, yeah.
I'm in the middle.
Okay.
It's a 5-question quiz. If you're, don't worry about these scores, but if you're more of a 5, you're more of a Willie. If you're more of a 0, you're more of a Wade. If you're in the middle, you're more of an Aaron.
Okay.
Are you ready to be Wade on the WoW scale?
I'm ready.
First question, 3-parter. Do you believe in aliens? If so, have they visited Earth? If so, have they visited Earth in the last 300 years?
Yes, yes, and yes.
Shit.
Cool.
Really?
In some form, yeah, but in a very different form than a humanoid form.
I don't know.
Who would
What
ever
are you
cop
What
to
are you
that?
thinking?
Well, I've always thought that because so much media rests on the aliens having some sort of recognizable form, as if somehow they were like, well, we need them to recognize us, that had to be total bullshit. That in fact, life as we categorize it or would want to recognize it could exist in, a series of clusters, whether they're radioactive clusters or pulse wave clusters, an organized sort of team that could transport itself. And
So you're operating on a
Love it.
higher level.
Well, yeah, because my
Then-
thinking was always this: every freaking story that we have is about them coming to us, and it's an invasion story, and we have to get up and rally ourselves. But if you see around that, there's also the possibility that we, in our sort of cumbersome escalation toward better space travel, better advancement, could actually get kind of good at this and get to a world where we recognize something that blows our mind, and we're like, oh wait, this is a life form. It's another life form that does something very well. They don't have the same hierarchical thinking that we have. Perhaps we could get them to do some things for us.
Do you
and
think
then we become the exploiters, really, in truth, in this? We are the invaders. We want their space. We want them to do things for us so that we can coast. And then they have to rally against us.
Do you okay, so when you talk about aliens, are they sentient like the ones that came here?
Yeah, I would think so, yeah. And I think we might have to adjust our perception of what being sentient
but then
is. But yeah.
Do you subscribe to like reptilians and that they have like
No.
inundated our government?
No,
and
and
stuff?
I've run into people. I ran into a party. I was at a party at Dave Lyons' house, and there was a guy that was like a full reptilian who was a guest of somebody who was going up to people. And he kept coming up to me and grabbing me and saying, the city is full of reptilians, and they're killing black brothers on a regular basis in Hollywood. Specifically, that's what Hollywood is to capture black brothers with the dream of gold and draw them to the nest and take them out. Fuck that shit, dude. I don't believe in reptilians. I don't. And if I see anybody who does, there's a divining rod that comes out.
right
and goes,
here.
Right? No, I'm
You believe in
always like-
reptilians? Or people who subscribe to the...
Don't backtrack. You know that you do.
No. I mean, in some forms I do, but not in the form of, I'm disguised as the president, but I do believe in reptilian entities that are here, but not. Here's my thing: is like if it's been defined, it's probably not the right definition. Meaning, there's a lot of stories out there just to throw you off of the truth, and so just to hide.
That's so fucking funny.
I mean, I can't.
I don't think
can't
that
buy
there are.
It's so funny though.
in
It's
the
so
Oval
funny for you to
Office.
say that like the definition is wrong. I mean, that's just like
No. But like, it's not when I say that, it's not a defense mechanism. I'm just like, there's no way the real story is like.
no. The real story is that they don't exist.
This is a different topic for a different day.
Stoking
Do you
the fire.
believe in ghosts?
But we can talk. about
Yes, I have seen ghosts in action.
Oh, please tell us a ghost story. Can you do
No.
like a succinct ghost story?
I can. Well, I lived in a house in West Hollywood that was haunted for all intents and purposes, and whatever was there. It was a house that had been larger earlier, and it was segmented into apartments at this point. There were 5 apartments.
So wait, so just to paint a picture for
Sure.
people listening, in LA, what happens is like there used to be these giant houses, and then they've subsequently been divided into like, oh, this is big enough for an apartment, this is big enough for an apartment. So they'll just kind of like divide houses up into like
duplexes or quadplexes.
Yeah.
or
Like
They
a
used
sort
to
of
be McMansion or
It was
just
like a mini
regular
mansion.
mansions.
It's like
Yeah,
a street of mini mansions, a street named after Rita Hayworth with a lot of
Yeah.
sadness and stuff. You've seen it in movies a lot, like the Limey and stuff. And this house had been broken up into several apartments. One was a luxury apartment that was the front half, and then there
That's
were
where you
2 or
live.
3 in the back half. No, I lived in what was the guest quarters / kitchen quarters,
okay.
for people who cooked for them. And there was just a ton of stuff that happened in the house. It was just, you cannot explain it, you cannot dispute it, you cannot refute it.
Do you have one
At the
instance?
height of it, it built up to, it would do these little pranky kind of things, and I talked to it. And so for years, we kind of lived together with it, just regularly doing these things. It got to the point that it stopped doing things to me. It would only do things when I brought people to the house from the groundlings to write with, basically. Because at that point, that was all I was doing, was writing with people.
Right.
And if I brought them to the house and left the room, it would do something, and I would come back, and people would staring at me, going like, "Why are those maracas in the middle of the floor?" And
So
there was-
what? It would like move shit, or like what
things would fall inexplicably off of shelves and roll in. There was a point where it did several things. The first startling thing that it did was I had bull horns, longhorn steer horns, above my kitchen sink, and they came crashing down with the points of the horns between me. So it came straight down
Oh my gosh.
on a Saturday while I was doing dishes. And when it hit, it shattered everything. So normally when it would hit, it would fracture the glasses and the dishes into pieces, like dishes break. Everything in the sink shattered to a powder. Nothing else. Like a powder. That was the first thing. That was on a Saturday. Then it did some other crazy stuff. And then on a Tuesday,
I've never even seen that.
side closet that's right by the restroom, which was the nook of where all the activity and crazy things. If I were to list things out, they all happened in this one little axis. The door, as I stepped toward the door to this closet, which had no click, it was just like an open,
Yeah, sure.
went back and forth rapidly for at least 3 minutes straight.
How
And
the
long enough for me to
fuck?
go through the process of stopping, looking at that, saying to myself, that's weird. Then my hair started to stand up on the ends, a piloerection where your hair starts to stand up on the back of your neck. And then I go through a process of progressions that are scientific method based that
Right,
to
sure.
take this down. This is happening. Maybe there's an animal inside. Maybe there's a this. And when I'd run out of things, then it stopped. And I grabbed the door and flung it open. There was nothing in there, not even towels in there, because it had leaked in there and they were afraid of mold. So they came in and cleaned it and said, don't touch it. So it was empty. It opened out and the thing was opening up and going back. So something was pulling it back and forth.
What
my
the
gosh.
fuck?
I called my friend. I issued like an incident report. I said, this happened on this day at this time in the afternoon.
Wait, to who?
There's a friend of mine who lived that it actually liked. And so it would do weird things when she was there, but nothing crazy. Like when we were both there writing for the Groundlings, it changed the color of the lighting in the room, the overhead light, the whole lighting in the room changed as if
Shut
someone
up.
had put
Shut
a
up.
room-wide filter on it. So it
No.
didn't go gradually from like a brownout to a thing.
No.
It went to a weird lavender color. And then she was looking at the ceiling. And when I looked at her and then looked up, there were these white balls of light shooting from one side of the...
I don't like
So,
this. I
that's
don't
it.
like this.
Why?
Because that means that the world is different. I've never.
He doesn't like to know that there is something out there because then
It
it, will
changes
change his world
everything.
perspective.
Doesn't it
doesn't,
change
but it
everything?
doesn't mean that it. For
Well,
me,
yeah, you
it
believe it.
really seemed to mean that, like, because after it did all that stuff, it actually really just stopped. I moved much later because it got boring. But no, actually, I moved because I had to move.
You're
But-
like, fuck this ghost, man. He's not
Yeah.
even doing anything.
but it stopped after that, and I really think that at a certain point, it felt it needed to communicate something. And one of the problems I think with these sort of side or parallel universes or whatever is that sometimes they don't cross over. They don't fit evenly. It's not like something's coming to get you. It's just
Well, let me ask
there,
you
and
that.
there's
Do
a
you
frustration with trying to get across, and
Do you think it was a dead person, or do you think it was like a cross-dimensional kind
It
of
wasn't
thing?
an alive person. I
No,
mean,
no, but like how would you
used to be
categorize
alive.
it? Like,
sometimes I think that there are people, or like, dead people or spirits or whatever. But I think also, along with that, there are these pools of energy that are available. So if something desperate or bad is happening to somebody, that energy can, and that person's trying to reach out, but they can't. Then the parallel is that energy can somehow get to, if you're a receptive person, it can get to you. If you come into your space, then that space that you live in can kind of activate and try to communicate to you, transfer a message. But it's like a 5-year-old trying to write a legal document. So essentially just banging on a door going, get me out of here, and you have to, and the hope is that you're somehow open to all that. Anyway.
do you think that's why? Do you think I've never had a ghost experience because I'm not receptive?
Yes.
Possibly, yeah.
Oh,
Possibly.
then thank God. I mean,
Yeah, keep your hands in
I
your
don't want to
pockets,
get
man.
spooked like that. All right, third question on the WoW scale. Do you believe in Bigfoot?
No.
Okay. Not even no, because he's right here.
Well, I mean, I don't believe in Bigfoot as a non-human entity. If it's some person who was
Any thoughts?
connotation of it.
Do
Yeah,
you
if it was a
believe-
guy who sort of was living out in the wilderness for some time, or a woman who was a gargantuan person and had gotten very used to it. Now
I mean,
we're very
it's
used to
probably
that
a man.
concept. You see people on the street out here who can be pretty woolly and walking around
Sure.
lumbering from one place, and
Yeah.
people are sort of predisposed to going, yeah, this city's got everything.
Yeah.
But in the 70s or the
LA,
60s,
huh?
Yeah.
but no, I don't think so. I don't think
Psychics?
so. No, I think that there are empaths. I think that there are people who are hyper open, but they're also they're well outnumbered by the nutcases who pretend to be. I mean,
Yeah.
at that
Yeah.
time that all that stuff was going on in my house, there was a woman at work who went on vacation for 2 weeks who had been in a crumble for 3 months, and the only way we found this out is that she did not make it past that week that stuff happened. So I came to work one day and there was a grief counselor there and stuff. And as soon as I got out of all that stuff and went back to work, they were like, okay, you're okay. You can go to work. There were different reactions from everybody in the office. Word processors who were broken up. Other people who were like, this is my sign. I have to go to Australia. And, everybody had their own reaction to it. There was one woman there who came up to me and said, I'm an empath. She's been talking to me and she has a very special message for you. Can I give it to you? And I was like, no. Absolutely not.
Oh my God.
Because you weren't an empath before this. Now you're an empath. Get the fuck out of my face. Like, using this person's thing as a lever for...
I would just want to know what she said.
Yeah, you weren't even curious?
No.
Wow, dude, that's
No.
willpower.
What would you guys do if that happened to you?
Oh, I would listen to it. I would be like, yeah, what's up?
I would listen, but I would definitely be really skeptical.
I wouldn't believe it.
It depends on what she would say. Like, if she's like, the thing in the closet was this blah, 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 and like, I had not talked to anyone about the closet, then I'd be...
Yeah. Well, that's why I go to the movies.
I mean, what if
'Cause
she was...
life
what
is
if
not-
she was
life
just
is
like...
not a movie as much as we want it to be.
16, 39, 42.
Oh, what? And then I go to Santa Anita and play the quinella and box it and win all the way.
Did you guys play the
Mega.
lottery last night?
Mega.
I should
I
have.
wanted
Yeah,
to.
should've,
I
but I
forgot.
Did anyone win?
Yes.
Somebody from Chicago won one sold ticket.
Shit. Holy shit. Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ah.
man.
Holy shit.
Let's find him and dox him.
Was it 100 billion? Wait, 1 billion.
It's $1
$1
billion.
billion.
One person.
$1 billion worth of
$1 billion.
jardiniere, my
I mean,
friend.
that's 500 million in taxes. It's crazy.
That's what you think about is the 500 million taxes?
I'm just going like that number's not real.
I would
But it's
get it in
coming out
the
of the
33
jackpot.
installments.
It's coming out of the jackpot, so you're good.
You would get it in installments?
I would get it in
No,
installments.
no, you get it in cash.
No.
You put it into a high yield savings account.
Nah,
The-
man.
I
You
would
get
get
it
it
in
in
cash. You get
installments.
100.
The installments is to
100,000 in gummy
protect yourself
bears.
from being an idiot.
That's exactly what it is.
No, fuck you guys. You guys are dumb.
I'm dumb.
All right. Well. what's
Okay,
the
I
last-
guess if you're dumb.
This world's gonna
yeah.
explode in
What's the
about
last
10 hours. I would get all the cash I could.
All right, do you believe in ghosts?
No,
Yes,
you already said ghosts.
I did. Yeah, we answered. But
Superstition.
I'm sorry, I forgot where we were.
am I wow or not?
Are you ready for the last question?
Yes, please.
Are you superstitious?
Insanely superstitious, but not in a way where I have to do the things, and if I keep it quiet, then that's all. Then it's fine. If I start telling people what my superstitions are, then
It's over.
it just because then people.
I mean,
are like,
that's
"You
a
gonna do that thing again?"
superstition in its own right.
This, I'll show you this. I've been doing this since I was 5 years old, and
What
I
is
have
that?
to do it. It's
What
a
is
pattern.
that?
It's a pattern that I developed in my hands that if it occurs to me that I need to do it, I have to do it. And
So-
it occurs to me once every
What happens if you don't
4
do it?
months. I don't know, and I never want to find out.
It's like
and I've been
Lost.
like that since I was 5.
It's like Lost. You got to put the numbers in every time, or else they
It's like a
disappears.
I broke my hand last year. I don't know if I can do that. Have you ever
Oh, I
thought
thought it
about
was the
that?
same
Like,
pattern.
No, I've never.
if you
and I'm
broke
glad
your
I
hand,
didn't.
you couldn't be able to do it.
Because I was a goalkeeper from like, and a pretty competitive one from like, geez, man, for maybe
Wait, so I want to
12
ask
years
you
of my
about
life.
this. You were a goalkeeper, right?
Yeah.
And I know that those guys are like the leaders of soccer, but isn't that the least soccer position?
What does that mean?
It's
what
like
does that mean?
we're kicking shit, we're going around, we're kicking shit,
No.
but then this goalkeeper can just like do whatever. He can like block shit with his hands.
But he's got to run. He can run out too. He can
It's
run
the
out.
least soccer
I
No.
played a
position.
goalie in water polo, and I'm like, hey, at least I'm not swimming out there.
No, I mean, I trained with the field players because I wanted their conditioning. But we have our own for every set of skills that you would have out in the field. We have our own set of skills that they don't have, that they cannot do. Like I could
like blocking.
when
stuff.
I was high school, if you took a shot and it was the upper right corner of the opposite side of the goal, I could from 1 foot on 1 foot on a step fly sideways and parallel to the ground, tip that ball out of the air and land without injury and be up in a second.
Yeah, you're like those
But that's
crazy
training.
safeties that go
Soccer-y.
sideways.
Yeah,
But that's
it's
the
training.
least
You
soccer
learn how to
thing.
learn.
That's the
it is
least.
training.
That's not a soccer.
It's a science. Yeah, it is. It's a science, and
It's
the training
least
for it.
soccer-y thing.
is
How
they-
much soccer do you know versus how much soccer he knows?
I played all the way up until high school. I played soccer.
yeah, but he.
I was a midfielder. I was running all around,
You better be if you're a midfielder. yeah.
fucking scoring all the time. I
yeah,
never
but
scored.
you
I
wouldn't be
never
able to
shot.
do the things that a
He's just-
goalie
he's-
would do.
This is a contrarian, so
No, but I could
You're right,
because it's
you're
like
right.
this.
that's a contrarian.
This is what they do.
It's
You had a
already
bad
it's already
goalie.
4-0 then.
You had a bad
We've
goal.
already lost.
You're a Arsenal fan?
Arsenal.
All right.
Till
How
I
they
die.
doing?
The summer's crazy because they actually spend money and they have I've forgotten how many goals they've scored, but they've let in like 2 goals all preseason, and they've scored something like 25.
It's still preseason.
Not anymore. Season starts.
It's
season
happening?
starts Saturday. Yeah, Crystal Palace on Saturday. I forgot who Liverpool plays, but
Liverpool played Man City.
no. I'm talking about
Preseason.
Saturday.
Got it.
It's real now. We play Crystal Palace on Friday night, I think.
All right. I'm excited. I only get the alerts, but you are.
Yes.
I want to call you like a legit 3 because the first 2 you're super into, second 2 you weren't. The last one's superstition. That's a me thing, but like I feel like your first 2 outweigh them. So I just want to say a 3, right? I mean, like
Yeah.
You're right in the middle. You're right with me.
Oh, good. Well,
Yeah.
There you go.
yeah, you're an
It's
Aaron.
a good place to
You're
be.
in good company.
think so.
You're in good
Yeah.
company. All right,
It
Willie,
can't all be mysterious.
hit us with the topic.
Tonight on Real Life Sci-Fi.